Hey guys, Charles Cooper, your instructor, checking in. It's October 19th, so we're taking a look at what's coming up this week with Chapter 9, the Judiciary Branch. And then after that, Chapter 10, Public Opinion. That's going to be covered in a couple weeks in exam number 5, which is due on November 2nd. Please don't forget, and this is part of the reason why I'm checking in here, there's a paper due on October 27th, and the paper is going to be a different format than the first paper. Okay, so I've jumped over here to modules. I clicked on modules to the left. I'm going to scroll down to module 5, which is October 20th through November 2nd, and you'll see right in the middle, graded written assignment number 2, due by midnight, October 27th. Notice that you've got a reading quiz here on the 24th, and then your discussion forum on November 2nd. So the 27th is kind of an odd day, and I'm just letting you know, or rather reminding you, that your paper is due in the middle of this next module. Let me go ahead and click on it and go through some basic expectations. In the last paper, some of us struggled with, or some of you struggled with, citations. You also struggled with addressing all 3 aspects of the prompt, and that's where a lot of your grades kind of went south. I mean, those of you whose grades went south, that's where they went. I don't want to imply that everybody suffered because of this. And so I would highly recommend, number 1, make sure that with citations, make sure you look up MLA or APA. Citations need to happen within the body of the text. That lets me know that you're giving credit to your resources for those ideas, or you're using them to reinforce something else that you're saying. But giving me a work cited by itself without citing within the paper does nothing. All that tells me is you got some ideas from these other resources, but when you don't tell me specifically which ideas, I don't know which ones are yours and which ones are your sources. Now, on this paper, it's going to be a little bit different format than the last one. You're going to look up each of the layers of government that you live under where you have elected officials. You're going to tell me who they are, what district or what office they hold, whether they're Republican or Democrat, and some, especially on the local level, will not be allowed to claim their party. So just be aware of that. So in other words, you will not be able to find whether they are a Republican or a Democrat, although I'm sure if you look on their website, it'd be pretty easy to find. So you're going to need to create a neat and organized way to present this information. You can go to this website, put in your street address, zip code, all that stuff, and then hit submit, and it's going to give you a pretty good list of elected officials that you're going to be voting for either in a few weeks or 2 years from now with the presidential election. And I hate reading stuff word for word, but I will just in case. Finally, you will write a fairly detailed paragraph in which you identify one of the office holders, little typo there, one of the office holders that currently represents you and holds values closest to yours. So what I'm looking for, well, there are like 3 or 4 typos. Okay, I'm going to fix that. But anyway, what I'm looking for is, once you list all these people that represent you, I want you to find one of them whose political beliefs are closest to yours. Now, that may be at the national level, could be at the state level, or could be at the local level. And then I want you to give explanations on, holy cow, there's something going on with the formatting here. Anyway, go ahead and give explanations on why it is that you chose this person as the political representative that's closest to what you believe. So give me examples of how they voted on bills, give me examples of debates that they've been in and things that they've said. And so depending on your candidate, that may take a little bit of research on your part. The good news is, if you choose one of the local guys, I bet you could give them a call and call their office and, possibly do an interview with them and get some of the stuff that they have to say, on the record, and include that as part of this assignment. Students have done that in the past, and especially when it comes down to school board members, city council members, mayors, sometimes even state representatives on the state level, will speak to you personally, especially since you're an interested voter. So this should not be a short 3-sentence paragraph. By the end of reading your paragraph, I should have a clear picture of why you stand with that particular candidate. So while I'm not making this a 2 or 3 page paper, it should not be like a tiny, tiny, short little synopsis like 3 sentences. What I want you to do is to identify, if you're going to ask for a minimum, I would say maybe 3 characteristics that you appreciate in that candidate. Here's an example of the graphic that you're going to include in this. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your name in the upper left hand corner. You're going to create some sort of spreadsheet. Name of the office. You're going to tell me where you live, office holder's name, so on and so forth. So in this case, name of the office, President of the United States, city, region, state, or district they represent, United States, office holder's name, President Obama, political affiliation, Democrat, how long in office, 6 years, and when is the next election, 2016. So even though he's not going to be running because he's already won 2 terms, the next election to fill in that office will be in 2016. You need to include all of this information for each level of government. So we're talking president, senators, representatives at the national level. Then we're talking, and remember, Supreme Court, which is the chapter that we're in right now, you do not elect them. They are appointed by the president and then approved or verified by the Senate, consented by the Senate. At the state level, we're talking governor, state representative, state senator, railroad commissioner. The executive branch in the state of Texas is broken up into multiple offices, so make sure that you include all those offices, like railroad commissioner. Make sure you include, like I said, your state house and your state senate. On the very local level, you've got various, county judges. You've got school board members, you've got city council members, depending on how your city government's constructed. So all of this needs to be put into this spreadsheet formulation. And you'll see that my name is here, Charles Cooper, Louisville, Texas, and then everybody that represents me all the way down below that. You're not going to be turning this in to turnitin.com or turnitin folder on this website. You're going to submit it to this page. So some of y'all made the mistake of turning it into this Canvas page last time. This is actually the right place to put it. So you're going to upload your assignment on this page. This is due October, whatever we just said, and make sure you get it in before midnight. If you think you're going to have computer problems, try submitting it a day before or maybe hours before so you can figure out what the problem is. Now to go back to modules, and as always, if you're confused on this assignment, please let me know. But it's basically the top part is going to be the spreadsheet. The bottom part is going to be a nice explanation on which candidate you agree with the most and why. And I'm looking for a nice big fat long paragraph where after I read it, I'm going to know exactly where it is that you agree with that particular candidate. All right, so to go back to modules to see the rest of this module 5. I know I've repeated myself a little bit in my explanation of the paper, but the last time that we had that paper, I asked several times for you to cite within the body of the paragraphs, and it didn't happen, so I just want to be super clear on what my expectations are on this particular assignment. Okay, so Chapter 9, Judicial Branch, just the normal setup that we have every week. You've got a discussion forum that opens up on Monday. First post is due by Wednesday. Second post is due by Sunday at midnight. Those of you turning in your posts late, your grades are suffering because of this. Then your reading quiz is due by Friday night. And then, of course, October 27th is the second paper. Next week, November 2nd, we've got the discussion forum again. We have the Chapter 10 reading quiz, and then the Module 5 exam, just like normal. So the only really big exception is going to be this paper in the middle of the module. And if you take a look, we only have 3 modules left, so hip hip hooray. We have about 5 or 6 weeks left. Thanksgiving break is happening about a week and a half or 2 weeks before the end of the semester. So we've got I think about 4 or 5 more weeks left. We can do this. You can do it. We're almost there. If you have any questions, as always, email me here, tweet me at Thrasymachus, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.